Today's episode is the fourth and final episode in our series where we're helping you find out if doing your own bookkeeping is right for you. It isn't right for everyone, but after listening to this series, you'll have a good idea if it's a good fit for you. Probably one of the most important topics in this series is finding out if you have enough time to do your own bookkeeping. Listen in and you'll find out. You're listening to the Mastering Your Small Business Finances podcast, where we get straight to the point on topics that ultimately affect your bottom line. That's right, as an entrepreneur with a small business, money management, growth, marketing, they all affect your bottom line. I'm your host, Chris Ponick. I'm a certified public accountant, and I've been helping small business owners like you navigate and easily understand these complicated topics for over 25 years. I'm a wife, a mom, a grandmother, and a small business owner myself, so I know your time is valuable. In my free time, I make the best sugar cookies and have mastered an amazing chocolate chip cookie recipe. And that's not just my opinion. You're in the right place. I promise your time will be well spent here. Each week you'll gain confidence and clarity while making a successful impact on your business and grow your bottom line. Get comfy, grab a cookie, and let's get straight to the point with this week's episode. Are you looking for a computerized software solution to do your bookkeeping? I highly recommend checking out QuickBooks Online. I've been using QuickBooks myself for over 20 years, and they really know how to streamline processes and make your bookkeeping and recording your transactions simple and easy. QuickBooks is one of the top software solutions used by small business owners, and I would say that over 95% of my clients are currently using QuickBooks for their businesses. One of the features most of my clients and I take advantage of is the option to set up bank feeds. You simply link your bank account to your QuickBooks account, and QuickBooks will automatically import each transaction into your QuickBooks file. You'll save a ton of time not having to manually enter each of these transactions. You simply review each of the transactions and make sure they're getting recorded to the appropriate account, and then click one button and they're in. Want to know more? Head over to financialadventure.com/QuickBooks and learn how you can save 50% off of your first 3 months. Time. We all have the same amount of it, yet everyone spends their time in different ways. If you're like me, you'll find yourself wishing you had more time every single day. Today, we're taking a look to see if you have enough time to do your own bookkeeping, and we have some great strategies to make the most of your time. First, I want to ask you if you are even interested in doing your own bookkeeping. If you have no interest, maybe time isn't going to be a factor in your decision. Some business owners get caught up in looking at their numbers, and others really just are not interested, and they base their success on other aspects of their business, like how busy are they. You may also find that you're not really interested in bookkeeping, but once you start doing it and you're able to start analyzing some of your numbers, this may change. Just imagine being able to look at how this month did in sales compared to last year at this time. Would knowing these numbers affect how you'd run your business? How about if you were budgeting and you wanted to take a look at how much money you've spent so far this year in advertising or your telephone and decide, have you been spending too much money on certain things and do you need to cut back on different items? If you decide you do have a genuine interest in your own bookkeeping, you have another hard decision to make. You know it's going to take some of your valuable time to do your bookkeeping and keep it up to date. I want you to be really serious with yourself and decide if you are willing and able to take additional time from your day to do your bookkeeping. Once you decide you're going to make time to do your own bookkeeping, you'll then need to ask yourself if you're going to make bookkeeping your priority. If you don't make bookkeeping a priority, it may be better to outsource your bookkeeping since you won't have timely information to make smart business decisions. You'll ultimately need to have your bookkeeping done to file your tax return, so why not make it a priority and just get everything done on a consistent basis? I feel this is where many business owners struggle. It seems once their bookkeeping falls behind, it becomes less and less of a priority because they know it's going to take a long time to catch up. Don't let this happen to you. Find a system that works for you, find the software solution that's going to fit for you, and make sure that you continuously do your bookkeeping at least once a month. Do you have your processes and systems in place? Once you have some standard operating procedures set up, you'll find that the process starts to flow much smoother and will start to actually save you some time. If you haven't already, go back and listen to episode number 3, where we talk about processes and what you need to do your own bookkeeping. Even if you outsource your bookkeeping, you still have bookkeeping tasks that need to be done. You still need to gather all the documents to give to your bookkeeper or accountant. Take note of how long this would take you and consider this time as well when you're figuring out how much time it's going to take for you to do your own bookkeeping. The net of that amount of time may not be as much as you think. If it takes you half an hour to gather all the documents and send them over to your bookkeeper, you could be using that half an hour's worth of time just entering your bookkeeping in on your own, and that may start saving you some time. Look at how many transactions you have in a single month. Figure out an average amount of time it's going to take you to record all of these transactions on a monthly basis. Remember, you'll need to reconcile your accounts too, so this will add some additional time. Do you feel like you'd have enough time to record all of these transactions each month? And when I say each month, I truly do mean try to get all of your transactions done every single month at the least. Can you schedule your bookkeeping time in your calendar? Would you have time to do your bookkeeping every day, every week, or at the very least once a month like I mentioned? Block this time off and treat it as if it's a regular appointment. Don't let anything change this time, because once you make an exception, you'll find it hard to schedule that time back into your calendar, and then you'll notice that you're going to start falling behind, and it's a lot harder to catch up. You wouldn't cancel an appointment with a customer, so don't cancel this important time for your bookkeeping. Make doing your bookkeeping a habit. Be consistent and try to batch your bookkeeping. So you might be asking, what is batching? Well, if you took some time and recorded all of your expenses at one time, you would probably get pretty fast at entering them. The same thing will happen if you batch all of your invoicing. Batching your transactions just means that you focus on doing the same thing over and over so that you can do it quickly, and then you move on to the next task. This will help you to be more productive and help you concentrate on what you need to do next. Think of the time you will save rather than sitting down to record just one transaction. Imagine you'd have to get your bookkeeping system open, get the information for that one transaction, record that one transaction, and then put it all away again. This would not be a very efficient way of doing your bookkeeping. If you decide to use a computer system like QuickBooks Online, you'll find their systems are geared to save you time as well. QuickBooks Online, for example, has an option for you to download bank feeds into your software. This means that QuickBooks will connect to your bank account and take each transaction processed and enter it into your QuickBooks data file. All you need to do is to make sure that the account the transaction is recorded in is correct, and then you simply click a button to add the transaction. Technology like this is saving a lot of time for small business owners and making the process of bookkeeping much more simplified and easier to take over. You may think doing your own bookkeeping will save you money, and you may be right, but make sure that you're considering what your time is worth when you calculate this. Figure out how much time it would cost to outsource your bookkeeping. Get a few quotes from bookkeepers and accountants. Then calculate how much time it would take you to do your bookkeeping and multiply that by what your time is worth. Compare these figures. You may find that your time is much better spent on sales versus doing your bookkeeping. Or you may find that you can save your business money by doing your own bookkeeping. The most important point here is to value your time. Many small business owners don't think the time they spend in their business is costing them anything, but it really does. Even if you're not collecting a paycheck, and I say paycheck with air quotes, from your business, your time is still valuable and you should still be able to put a price on it. One more thing, if you decide to do your own bookkeeping, you may want to think about hiring an accountant or a bookkeeper to help you get everything set up at the beginning, and possibly help them with your very first month of bookkeeping. This may seem counterintuitive, but if you pay someone to do this, you'll probably save lots of time that you would spend trying to figure out your computer software or trying to decide which account to code transactions to. After the first month has been entered and reconciled, you'll have something you can go back to and look at when you have questions. One additional bonus when you do this is that you know your bookkeeping is set up correctly from the start, and you don't have to doubt yourself if you're spending a lot of time on something that may not be producing accurate financial reports. This could also save a lot of time at your end if your tax preparer finds a lot of errors in the setup and needs to fix them prior to filing your tax return. I always say, garbage in is garbage out, and this is a perfect example. You want to know from the very beginning that all of your transactions are getting coded to the correct accounts, which will then give you accurate financial statements. All right, let's recap this episode. First, you want to make sure that you're interested in doing your bookkeeping. Then you want to make sure that you're able to take the time out of your day to do your bookkeeping. You want to make sure that you're making bookkeeping a priority. You want to figure out an average amount of time that it's going to take for you to record all of the transactions in a month. You want to make sure that you schedule time in your calendar and be serious about keeping that time. Make doing your bookkeeping a habit and be consistent. If you're using something like QuickBooks Online, you'll find that the systems are really geared to save you some time. Doing your own bookkeeping may save you some money. And think about hiring an accountant or a bookkeeper to help you get everything set up from the beginning so you know that what you're entering is accurate. If you're considering doing your own bookkeeping, be sure to grab our free guide on the 5 essential strategies for stress-free bookkeeping. Go to financialadventure.com/5essentials to get your copy. That's the number 5, ESSENTIALS. And what's the one thing you're going to take away from this episode that will help your business succeed and grow your bottom line? Do you need to be held accountable? Make sure you join our private Facebook group and post your action item there. We'd love to support you. Thanks for taking the time to tune into this episode of Mastering Your Small Business Finances. If you enjoyed this episode as much as I enjoyed creating it for you, I'd love for you to give it a 5-star rating and subscribe to the show so you never miss an episode. Visit financialadventure.com for the show notes, links from this episode, and while you're there, leave a comment if you have a topic you're interested in learning more about that affects your bottom line. If you're looking for a community where you can ask questions and get feedback about your small business, join my private Facebook group. You can find the links to this group and more on financialadventure.com. And remember, any financial information shared on this podcast is not to be considered professional, financial, or tax advice and should not be solely relied upon. Please consult your CPA or tax advisor for an opinion on your specific circumstances. I'm looking forward to having you tune in next time. Until then, dream big, follow your heart, and love what you do.